loud, sensitive, shy, athletic, adventurous. What qualities make you admire a person and dislike another? When you meet a character in literature, you're most likely to have a strong impression, just as you do when you meet a person in real life. By looking closely at the character and point of view, you can understand your reactions when you meet people on paper. Hi, and welcome back. Literary Analysis Workshop. Point of view. Imagine watching 3 videotapes of a soccer game. One was taken from the sidelines. In this case, you can see all the players in action. The second was taped by someone running alongside one player. And the third was taken by a player, so you can see the game through her eyes. In literature, the narrator holds the camera, that is, tells the story. A writer's choice of narrator is referred to as point of view. Let's see some examples. Point of view, first person. In this case, the narrator is a main or minor character in the story. Uses the pronouns I and me to refer to himself or herself. Share his or her thoughts, feelings, and opinions of other characters and events. Doesn't know the thoughts, feelings, and opinions of other characters. Let's see an example. Nervously, I eyed when, and here we have the first clue. The narrator is using I. I eyed when my competition in the election, and flashed her a gracious smile. Believe me, I wasn't feeling very gracious. Again, he used me. Second clue. After one began her speech, I relaxed. What kind of campaign speech is that? I thought. There's no way I lose now. So, this is the first example of point of view, first person. Let's look at another example. Third person limited. In this case, the narrator is not a character in the story, but an outside observer. It zooms in on the thoughts, feelings, and opinions of one character. So the illustration can help us a lot. The narrator is an outsider, is not a character, but it concentrates in one of the characters and actually knows the feelings of one of them. Not the others, just one character. Let's look at the example. Devin had trouble wiping the smile off his face as he listened to Wen fumble through her speech. For a brief moment, he felt a wave of sympathy for Wen. Then Devin forgot about his opponent and started planning his acceptance speech in his head. In this case, the narrator is only telling us about Devin. That means that is a third person limited type of narrator because he can't explain what is happening in one's mind or what is she feeling. Let's look at the next example. The third person omniscient. In this case, the narrator is not a character in the story but an outside observer. Is all-knowing, that is, he or she has access to the thoughts, feelings, and opinions of all the characters. So again, the illustration helps us. Is an outsider, but he has access to the feelings of all the characters. Let's read the example. Feeling confident and superior, Devin gave his opponent Wen a genuine smile as she walked past him. Though Jen returned Devin's smile, she was suspicious of his kindness. He's probably gloating over my mistakes, Wen thought angrily. In this case, The narrator is telling us how Devin is feeling, confident and superior. And also it explains that Wen was feeling suspicious. So it's omniscient. That means it has access to all the characters' feelings. Methods of characterization. When you meet people, how do you figure out what they are like? You might make judgments based on how they look or how they behave. You may also find out information from others. In literature, these kinds of details are clues to a character's personality. By knowing what to look for, you can get to know the main characters or the most important ones. You may even learn something about the minor characters or less important ones too. Writers use different methods of characterization to bring their characters to life. Let's see some examples. Methods of characterization. Physical appearance. Description of the character's clothing, physical characteristics, body language and facial expression, gestures or mannerisms. Example. A character who usually wears unmatched socks and stained shirts might be described as slovenly. If a character is always smiling and making eye contact with others, you might infer that she is warm or friendly. So, thanks to the description of the physical appearance, you can infer their personality. Now, describing the speech, thoughts, and action. Presentation of the character's speech patterns, habits, tastes, talents and abilities, interaction with others. Example. A character who speaks so quietly that others can't hear might be described as timid. You might infer that a character who repeatedly misses softball practices without telling the coach is irresponsible or unreliable. So, based on the speech, thoughts, and actions, you can conclude what is the personality of the character. Other characters. Presentation of other characters. Reactions to the character, relationships with the character, impression of the character's reputation. If the character's girlfriend described him as no good lying jerk, you might infer that he is insensitive and dishonest. If people often confide their troubles to a character, you might conclude that she is trustworthy. Character development. To the extent to which a writer develops a character depends on the character's role in a story. Complex, highly developed characters, known as round characters, take center stage and seem the most lifelike. Flat characters, on the other hand, are one-sided. Let's look at an example. Round characters. They are complex and exhibit a variety of traits. They show a range of emotions. They display strength and weakness. And they often change over the course of the story. So, as you saw in one of the slides, I had some photographs of Iron Man. Iron Man will be described as a round character. Why? Well, during the movies, he showed a range of different emotions. And he changed over the course of the story. So, the first Iron Man movie, we said that he was very arrogant, he thought only about money, fame. But at the end, the last movie that Iron Man is presented, he was able to sacrifice his life for human beings. So you can see how the character transforms during the story. Role in the story. What is the role of a round character? To serve as main character who make a story rich and interesting, to help define the theme. Now, on the other hand, we have flat characters. What are their characteristics? They are defined by only one or two traits. They show only a few emotions, maybe stereotypes or stock characters. They don't grow or change. What is their role in the story? To serve as a minor character who advances the plot or provide information. to reveal something about the main characters. Character behavior. What prompts the man to steal a large sum of money? A character's motivation is the reasons behind his or her actions can affect your perception of that character. For instance, the man might steal money to feed his family or to achieve a lifelong dream of wealth. How do these reasons affect your opinion of him? Sometimes a character's motivation is stated directly in a story. Usually, though, you need to look for clues and details to try to figure out the motivation. As you read, pay attention to the narrator's direct comments about a character's motivation, the character's actions, thoughts, and values, your own insights into human behavior, static and dynamic characters. Characters who change and grow as the plot develops are dynamic characters. In contrast, characters who remain the same are static characters. I hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching, and until the next one, bye!